Pakistan's defeat to New Zealand today was a pretty comprehensive one. New Zealand really outplayed the Pakistani team in every department, be it bowling, batting, or fielding. Our top bowlers, Shaheen Afridi and Haris Rauf, both went for almost 10 and over. It was a poor performance, but what unfortunately was the defining moment of the game today was Wahab Riaz's lone over, where he was hit for 3 sixes, giving away 19 runs at a point where New Zealand was under pressure and the batsmen weren't doing really well. He allowed them the breathing space and allowed them to have a lower run rate that they could easily manage. This is unacceptable. In the previous match, Wahab Riaz went for almost 12 runs and over. In this particular match, 19 runs in 1 over. I'm just going to ask our selection committee and team management, what is the utility of this guy? Really, what's his purpose in this team? He's not a slogger who will get you 50 runs in 22 balls. He is not going to get you a 4-4. He will occasionally bowl a brilliant 2-over spell at the end of the day, and everyone would say, yeah, this is the guy. Remember, he did the same in 2015 World Cup and blah, blah, blah. I think it's about time that Wahab Riaz and the management of the team realizes that his days as Pakistani player are over. Pakistan had a pretty decent scorecard. They gave a good target that could have been defended. The problem is that once you let go of any momentum that you have like that, you're not going to win matches. His performance today really, I think, even left most of his own fans shocked. He's a good fast bowler if he can control his line and length. That's been the story of his career. He can't. He's been playing for Pakistan for over a decade now. He's always been wavered, he's always been short, and he's always been giving away runs. If we talk about the rest of the performance, fielding was really sloppy. Just about everyone was making errors in there. The batting started off in a flimsy manner once again. Haider Ali hit that one glorious six and then got out. Abdullah Shafiq is certainly not ready for international cricket right now, not at least on these bouncy Kiwi tracks. Let him sit on the bench for the rest of the tour. Let him have some experience of the conditions and see and learn how to play. But really, the 21-year-old has a single first-class match where he scored 100. He's played 12 T20 matches at the domestic level. He did well for Multan Sultans, but I think he's not ready for international cricket. Really, Haider Ali, on the other hand, is a very fine product, but he needs to be guided, that he needs to harness his aggression. He's not going to hit a six every ball. He needs to learn that. Apart from that, Mohammad Rizwan had another start. This is something he should not be making a habit of. He can score quickly. He's a gutsy player. I always like him for that. A lot of people have been calling for his head, at least in T20 and ODI cricket. I personally believe that perhaps his T20 days are going to be short-lived, but he's an excellent choice for ODIs and Test matches. Moin Khan's son Azam Khan might be an interesting option for the T20 wicket-keeper. He has lost weight and he really can hit, and he's a pretty decent wicket-keeper. If we talk about somebody like Rohail Nazir, he could be an interesting option. Haider Ali can also take up the gloves. That's another option that Pakistan has. And we also have Sarfaraz in the squad. I'm still surprised he was selected. I still believe he should be playing for Sindh, allowing the local players more experience, helping them learn the ropes. And he's probably going to spend most of the tour on the bench, if not the entirety of the tour. That's not a good situation for him either. One must appreciate Muhammad Hafeez for his fantastic effort. He truly played like a champion today. He started off really slow, but the way he teed off when he was in his 40s was amazing. And I think the youngsters can learn from the old horse. He's had an amazing 2020 so far, and he's been hitting big. He's been scoring big, and he has really taken his game to a new level. I am one of those people who were really big fans of him when he came in the start, and that was until Muhammad Hafeez took over the reins of the T20 teams as a captain. He really messed that up, and he had a pretty bad up and down in between afterwards. But despite of all the criticism, he's improved his game, he's upped the ante, and he's shown that even at the age of 40, you can reinvent yourself and deliver. So I think he, for at least for a year or so further, he's an asset and he should be used accordingly. I really hope that Pakistani team delivers well in the third match. I was expecting a more competitive second T20. The fast bowlers disappointed. The spinners did reasonably well. Shahzad Khan didn't go for many runs. Imad Wasim also didn't do that badly, but it wasn't a great performance overall. Shaheen Afridi and Haris Rauf should have delivered better, but honestly, after that one over, I think the flow, the momentum, everything changed, and the fast bowlers weren't really themselves. By the way, I must admire Fahim Ashraf over here. He really bowled well, and he was pretty tight and economical. Despite of being hit for a six, the first ball he bowled, giving away 19 runs in 3 overs, picking up a wicket, that's quite impressive. Over here, I'd also like to discuss India's defeat yesterday. Teams get bowled out quickly, that's part and parcel of the game. But getting bowled out for 36 is pretty shocking. I mean, the team has some really big batting names. I'm not going to talk much about the lower order or the openers that didn't really deliver at all. But you expect somebody like Ajinkya Rahane, Virat Kohli and Cheteshwar Pujara to deliver under any kind of conditions. They are truly class batsmen. However, they faltered as well. The story for India yesterday was pretty simple. Aussies kept on taking nothing away from the Aussies. They kept on going hard against the Indian batsmen, getting the balls in the right line and length and moving them quite a bit. It wasn't going to be easy for any batting lineup. But if you look at all the dismissals, just about every batsman was half forward. They were leaning forward, their bats were leaning forward, but their legs weren't going anywhere. At the most, it was a half push. You do not do half pushes. Most of the balls that were edged, I think they could have been negotiated better. Some could have been left. After all, those are Aussie pitches. They're not going to hit your wickets that often anyway. So clearly, poor technique was to be blamed. One shocking dismissal, I would say, was Virat Kohli's own, because he had just played a ball very unconvincingly through the slip cordon and gotten 4 runs. He should have known better that the bowling was going to get him eventually if he kept on playing. And he just lasted one more ball, a fantastic catch by Green. But really, Virat Kohli was just trying to hit out when he needed to farm the strike. He needed to maybe hunker down a little and get the runs moving. When I talked about Australia's possibility of winning this test match, I was thinking more on lines of maybe an Indian collapse where India gets out for maybe 140. Now that's the kind of collapse that we expect from Asian teams. But getting out for 36, the only second occasion in the history of test matches where no batsman crossed the double figures. That was bad. And now that Kohli is not going to be the part of the series, I think Indians really need to gather their act, or this is going to be a very tough tour. Really.